today we'll be taking a look at the UJAM's Virtual Guitarist instrument mode. This is Sparkle here. Basically, let me show you some tricks and stuff that I've been learning to do to get the best out of these instruments in their instrument mode. And that's just a little track that I created there using not only the Sparkle, the virtual basses as well, and one of their drum plugins. That's actually Easy Drummer playing there, but I changed the drum sound. But anyways, let's get into this. If you're not familiar with Virtual Guitarist, you can check out my other videos. Basically, Guitarist that plays, you could set it up to play automatic patterns and stuff like that. But we're in instrument mode here, where we got some different features that allows you to create your own patterns, strums, and things like that. So first, let's look at the layout here. On the right-hand side of your keyboard, starting at C3, is where you trigger the chords. And depending on where you trigger them, for example, if I just play the C here, it's just going to be a power chord. If I play the C chord on my keyboard, it's going to be a C major. I can do C minor. I can see C+5, and you can see the keys that I'm hitting, and all kind of other chords and stuff like that. C major 7, and so on and so forth. Now you're not hearing any sound because you got a trigger down here with the key switches. And for the key switches, we have a strum up, strum down. We have all the different notes. So if I play like a C major chord here, between C1 and I guess B2, you have the key, the noise, the strings basically. So you have the notes of guitar on these 6 keys. So if I change the chord, the notes down here change. I'm playing the same pattern, and these key switches right here, actually that's a half mute. Put it on open, and we got a strum here. We got a strum up, down here. Stops. Slide up and slides down and stuff like that. So it can be pretty tricky to play a guitar like this. So what I do is I just put in some chords. Let's go to part of the DAW here. Now, if you have some MIDI chord packs, those could work great. If you want to play chords in yourself, that could work as well. So let's just do that real quick. We'll do just a loop here. All right, so we're going to play in just some power chords. Now, you're not going to hear it because I have no triggering the sounds yet. All right, so just some little chord progression there. Get this nice on the beat. Sometimes it's better to do it with a drum beat or something, but I just had the click track playing. And now we can loop this through and play on the left, or the left hand. Let's put a beat down. So now we could use our key switches here and write some patterns in, or play them on the keyboard, whatever you want to do. But for this case, we'll just write these patterns in. Now I know the C2. And we'll put this key switch here. So it's the open notes. Let's copy that pattern. Add a note there as well. One thing I find with these virtual instruments is I used to play guitar and then try to figure out how to reprogram it, but that always, not always, but it's very difficult. So I kind of just use these as writing tools as well, where I write the parts in here And I just kind of come up with stuff to get things going. And that's what we're doing here. Extend that note out. Now this is a very simple pattern, obviously. Maybe do a strum. Now, the cool thing about the UJAM stuff is I have the virtual bassist down here, Dandy. And I actually have this in player mode. So what I'm going to do is take this guitar MIDI track here, throw it down there. I'm going to get rid of the notes I played. I'm just going to leave those power chord kind of notes triggering the chords. And you can find a bass pattern you like to go along with that. Now, another cool thing is with Dandy, their plugin Deep, which is the drum plugin, has patterns that play with that bass. So if I go up to the style up here, I could look for that pattern. So as you can see, we have the same set here, preset, and these will create the patterns here. We could just audition some of these. So we'll just pick that one for now, drag that MIDI over there. And now we got instant band going here with the bass, guitar, and the drums. Now, I also have a guitar over here, the acoustic guitar. We could drag that MIDI up to the acoustic guitar. This is Amber. And we can go through some different sounds here. They have lots of effects on these, but you could turn them off as well. Okay, this is getting out of hand. Let's not go down that rabbit hole too much. And this works with the other guitars too. I have iron and stuff like that. Now we can add in some extra flair by just looping this guitar part and hitting different notes on the fretboard up here. Because right now we're just playing the power chords. They're not really power chords because I'm picking, but you know what I mean. That's the triggering with the sound. So let's just do this. So you could either overdub that into your sequence, or you could write notes in. Sometimes just writing random notes in here. We're gonna keep things here, and then we'll do one up here. See what happens. And you come up with different little riffs and stuff like that, adding those sevenths and ninths and tenths, whatever we're doing there. So that's another cool thing to do, just to really jazz things up. Now let's say that we want to just not do the finger picking, we want to do some strumming. Oh, actually, let's leave those notes there. So we could just get rid of all this. Oh, by the way, we could also do those muted as well. Those are the key switches right here, these 3 black keys. And we had, that's a half mute. And we could also do the dampening with your mod wheel. So if you want to just start off, do some bends as well. Those weren't great, but your pitch blend on your keyboard, you know, get the little sensitivity, get it right there. But anyways, so a lot of really cool stuff that we're already doing here, just exploring, and we're just using, I turned up the effects. I'm using the pick bridge up, pickup, character of the guitar, amp, a little bit of drive here, width and stuff like that. And we could always add on to this. We could actually just go to here, put it direct, and you could use a separate amp module plugin if you want. But you could have these ones here as well. Different guitar characteristics, the twang, the bite, soft, fat. But I like what we got going on here right now. And again, this could work for Iron. This could work for the other virtual guitarists because they're all mapped out the same way, I do believe. The ones I have to do, at least. And then we have our finisher plugin here, stomp boxes and stuff, and all that fun stuff. So that's another trick to get some sounds out of it. Let's get rid of this finger picking thing, and we'll do some strumming of chords, which is these notes here. Now you could play these on the keyboard to get a more, you know, human feel, where we could write these strums in. Let me get another one up here. And we can change the velocity. So we want this one to be a little bit lower. That sounds a little less realistic, but and then we can just copy that pattern. Now that does sound a little unrealistic, but you just have to kind of tweak it to your liking and get it to really shine. And you could even add in the strumming, and then sometimes I just do this to hit a note there. Kind of still sounds like it's strumming, but just hitting that single note. It stops in. You could do the stops with the finger picking as well. Strumming, stops, and finger picking. I keep changing the key switches, that's why it does that. So yeah, and then you can just take this, copy this strumming pattern over to here. Get rid of that one. Stuff like that. And another thing you can do, if you really want to explore this even further, you can go into the instrument mode here, or the player mode. Let's play a C chord. Pick one of these patterns, take the MIDI file here, put it back in the instrument mode, and you can explore the pattern here if you have what pattern that you find in the other mode that you can program yourself. And this is all that that pattern is. So if you want to add to it, so you could do that as well. So if you have a pattern that you could find in the other mode, but you just want to edit it and tweak it a little bit, you could do it with the MIDI. The thing with the MIDI though is kind of tricky, is because you have to keep every chord change that you have to drag the MIDI file over, which is kind of a pain. So if I'm in here and I want to play, like that MIDI file is just the chord that I play here. So if I have a chord change, I have to drag that MIDI file again. So it can get a little crazy with that. But let's get back to instrument mode here. And again, we can double these with other guitars. And we could go, let's go back to this original groove I created. Explore some different sounds. They have lots of crazy sounds on here. Most of them are like effecty. There's a lot of effects on them. So we can take this pattern, put it on the acoustic guitar, although it does sound better on the electric, but, well, I don't know yet because I haven't heard it actually, but, and we'll take this guitar part here. could explore for hours. We could change this to the iron guitar. Of course, we could change the drum sound up a little bit. So we could just go on and on and on. Create songs, write songs this way. I like to use them as a writing tool, and not just a writing tool, but adding guitar to your tracks. That you know, sometimes you're writing a song, you have a track going, say, oh, maybe I need some power chords here or something like that. But it's also cool to come up with different ideas. I did a bunch of stuff here. I was just using this as a scratch pad. I was coming up with stuff here. This is the Deep Dandy and the Virtual Guitarist here.